Welcome back again. This is the garnet petal sort of rub over. It's literally just held in by 6 little parts, so it's as strong as a claw set collet. It's using the same stone as what was in the last video with the smooth rub over. So basic tools here. It's just like cut 2 needle files, various shapes that you can see, and again same as the last video, number 6 flat scalper and my homemade pusher. So obviously at this stage this looks just like the old video, apart from now we're just taking off the very sort of sharpest burr on the inner curve, so that this will allow me to sort of get a better visibility through sort of looking down the sides a little bit later. So this is almost creating like a clean canvas, if you like. So just making sure the stone's nice and level. So this little stone pin is made of beeswax and a charcoal block that I've filed some of the dust off the side. So similar to the last video again, we'll take this wall thickness down to about 0.6 or 7. Either way, but putting this flat edge for pushing in the tool, it will allow you to, it will have like a weakness that will be just right for you to push over. It'll be very much like the other video, for like when you see me pushing over, like my left hand is really gripping hard on there, just to keep the motion going. The tool that I'm about to use is an old ball burr. I don't know what size it started off as, I can't remember, but I've kind of just diamond plate shaved the end to that V shape. It's got a little polish on there as well, just on standard 400 grit paper, then directly onto that 1200 grit. So this, literally choose wherever you want. You can see that just going down over the edge. If you want a bit more precision, you could mark it out all separately with a protractor or a bit of paper that's folded up sort of 3 times to mark the edges. So similar to before, done the 2 opposite sides first. Kind of just want that stone stable from the 2 sides. Now on this bit, I'm literally just pressing gently just to mark out the 2, the additional 2 on each side. Like I say, you could mark this out separately, but I've got quite a good eye. So you see that one of those little pushes, I did dislodge the stone a little bit. So whereas I'd normally push over, like do the opposites, on this one I do both of these this side because the stone did tilt a little bit. But just doing these 2 like that, it just leveled the stone out again without having to panic and crap myself and trying to get the stone out again. So you do this nice and firm. Even at this stage, the stone isn't coming out. So now I've double checked, it's definitely all level. I'm pushing in from a slightly steeper angle, just to guarantee that it's all going to be nice and tight. You can already see that there is actually quite a bit of metal over those over the girdle of this garnet. There we go, all secured. So there won't be any more pushing of those 6 downward points. So this file is just taking that little top edge off, just making sure there's no further burrs on the outside from when I've done the vertical sweep around. I'd say this is the most boring bit, because it is just a cut to square needle file, the 20 centimeter type. And you can see I'm just starting in the groove at the point and just rolling left and right. So from this angle, from the actual one that you can see nearest to you, in theory, if this stone wasn't in the vise and it was in a ring and you'd done all this bit, you could actually take those filing marks all the way down to the bottom of the collet, sort of creating more of like a sort of petal. But this really is just to get you started. And I thought this style of setting some people might find easier than the continuous smooth bezel in the last video. So you can already see it's just bringing everything else into line and sort of just making it match all the way around. If you find it easier for like the muscle memory, you can even, like when you've got the needle file resting there at the point, you can sort of roll it off to the right and do that same side of each petal. Just if your muscle memory sort of kicks in quicker and you have trouble changing direction, because then you can do that way, then you can reverse and go the opposite. But it's whatever suits you. So the next stage after this is using the number 6 flat scalper, sharpened, highly polished, to take out the little curved scallop edges. But if you tried that, and from copying the last video of doing like the continuous smooth line, if you have trouble with that, if you try and imagine using that same file that we've just used, actually curving over to the top. So this one I'm just going in with I think it's like a 1200 grit diamond file, just to get it a little bit smoother. But like even at this stage, if like the last video you couldn't get the hang of the bright cutting, you could do this so it goes all the way over, and then tilt the file sort of down a little bit more of a shallow, and just take off the top more. So overall it would look more rounded, but it would still look pretty. I find this sort of setting would be nice if you was making your mum a ring or a daughter, to just make it that little bit more girly. You find with these files they don't really take much off, and they do tend to clog up a little bit too easy. But you can clean these out with a little bit of methylated spirits. As long as you dry it all nice after, it will be fine. But meths does clean it out quite nicely. And from watching the videos, you notice that I don't really use these that often. And you could certainly get away with not using these. So just straight in with a number 4 buff stick, just on the very corner. These are just the standard pre-bought ones. Generally, if I'm buffing up wedding rings that I've sort of hand filed the profile in, I prefer to use like old knackered ones of these that I've sort of scored and wrapped paper around quite tightly, general emery paper. But these new fresh ones are quite, you see on the edge of the buff stick that's nearest to you, not that I'm using it on this, you can use your piercing saw and just cut different shapes in, and you can put different slopes in to get into different places. Alright, so here we go with the number 6 flat scalper. And the trick with these, the same with any engraving tool or stone setting tool, anything that you're doing on a curve, it's always easier to turn the work and hold and sort of clamp down your right hand, or the hand that you're holding the tool with, or you end up with lots of flat spots, lots of sort of gouges coming out. But as long as you turn the work into this tool, you'll get a nice smooth line. I'd say out of all the jewellery tools, this is probably one of the hardest tools to master. It's just awkward. And if you start slipping a tool, with any of these sort of setting or engraving tools, if it starts slipping, that's when it's blunt. You need to sharpen it. I'm zoomed in quite a bit here, but it's these tools that are the reason I've got so many scars on the side of my left knuckle, sort of literally piercing down to the bone. You can see now that there's a couple of little grooves in there, so I've gone back the other way because that helps me get in to the far left point. If you're just practicing with silver, as long as you've got the tool sharpened enough, you normally sort of poke it into the back of your fingernail and see if it grips on really easily. That's when you know it is the perfect sharpness. And this is just gently you can see this is just burnishing that little top ledge. And that is pretty much the basics of this setting. Like I say, you can, from the main part that was filing at the beginning, after we'd secured the stone, that's when you could actually take that file line all the way down to the base, just putting more profile in. But yeah, any questions about this, please ask, or if you want to see different stones being set like this or other variations. So I think this used to be called something like a Roman setting. But yeah. But thanks again for watching. There'll be more videos in the coming weeks as well, like normal. This one will be going on quite soon after the last one. I'll put a link in the description and at the end for the other 4-claw setting, which shows you how to make these actual flower pots as well. And thanks for watching. If you haven't subscribed already, that'd be really appreciated. And yeah, thank you.